Joel Embiid dominates in his return. The Sixers' new starting lineup is phenomenal. We'll talk about that and more next on Locked On 76ers.
You are Locked On 76ers, your daily Philadelphia 76ers podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Thanks for making Locked On 76ers your first listen every day. We are free and available wherever you get your podcast and on YouTube. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Today's episode is brought to you by Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, and use the code LOCKEDON for $20 off your first purchase. Do it today, people. Definitely do it today. What's popping, Mitch? How you been, bro?
Man, Keith, I'm hanging in here, man. Had getting over COVID, man. But, I went all through the pandemic without getting it, and then when the pandemic recedes, I got COVID. But I feel good. It was like
So this your first time with it?
This is my first time with it.
Man, I got it during the COVID. Oh, no, I got it like during the season that they had, like when everybody had COVID.
Yeah.
Wow. 2 years.
But I feel better, man. I do feel better.
That's good. So we're back in together again, y'all. My man got over his COVID, but I'm Keith Pompey. That's my right hand man, John Mitchell. He went to the second best high school in the city of Philadelphia. Just messing. But look, we got a lot to talk to y'all about. Like last night, the 76ers won 110-97 over the Chicago Bulls. It's crazy because, John, hey, like if you would have told me after that first quarter that game would be 110-97.
Yeah. Yeah,
it wasn't that close, and it wasn't close at all, right? They put the bench in, but they were whipping them.
Yeah,
43-18 after one quarter, right? And when you look at it, this was Joel Embiid came back after missing 4 games, and we talk about the lineup, we'll talk about different things, but Mitch, this was like Joel didn't miss a beat from where he was before. That's what really stood out to me.
Yeah. No, you're right, Keith, man. He and that's what you always are concerned with him. How much conditioning will he lose? In the span of they didn't play since the 22nd of December. He hadn't played since the 22nd of December. That's a good time off for the big man. And he picked up right where he left off from. In the first quarter, he had 5 assists, and I said, okay, he's going to work himself back into the game slowly. But yeah, the second quarter came around, third quarter came around, and he put the hammer down. He looked good. It was good to see him, not losing his condition. Now, it'd be interesting to see how he plays the next game out. And granted, Chicago was kind of shorthanded across the front line, but triple double. For him to come back with a triple double, 7th career triple double, that's impressive. To have nearly 2 weeks off and to come back with a triple double. It's like we just keep asking this guy to do more, and we expect so much of him now. It's just amazing. It's amazing some of the stuff he does.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like in his first game back, you said the triple-double, but what he had 31 points, 15 rebounds, 10 assists, along with 2 blocks in just 31 minutes, 27 seconds, right? Dude, he was a game high plus 32. And the crazy part is he sat out the fourth quarter. Now, the thing that gets me is, look at this. This is a stat that a lot of people aren't talking about. Maybe some people don't know, right? but with recording his second triple-double of the season, Embiid scored at least 30 points for the 15th consecutive game. In doing so, he joins former teammate James Harden, Kobe Bryant, Kareem Abdul Jabbar, and Wilt Chamberlain as the last five players to accomplish that feat. And we're talking about Harden did it in 2018-19. Kobe did it 2002-03. Kareem did it 2003.
Yeah, you froze on me, Keith. But
You
yeah,
know, all those
it's
guys when they did it right, they all won scoring titles.
right, right. And I think he's pretty much on his way to winning another scoring title. Um, and all those guys have championships except Harden, which is not to take away from the accomplishment. But I mean, every night with Joel, he does something else elite, and yeah, it's just impressive, man. And again, for him to come back on very little, with his conditioning being a concern, for him to come back and to play the way he did, I was shocked. I did not expect him. I expected those streaks, those 30 and 10s, and all that stuff, the 30-pointers. I expected all that stuff to probably come to an end last night. But shame on me.
Yeah, I felt like he was motivated. Yeah, because the reason why I felt like he was going to do it, because I felt like, honestly, I mean, I'm not taking a shot at him and this and that. And, he was kicking it like, and this isn't a shot, so I don't want anybody to think it's a shot, but he was kicking it like, yeah, I couldn't play. I mean, I couldn't put pressure on my foot, this and that, before. Nah, bro, I felt like Embiid wasn't coming back until he knew like he could totally dominate. And
Right.
then Andre Drummond, as good as Andre Drummond is, people forget how he used to always troll Drummond because he
Yeah.
would dominate Drummond.
Yeah.
So as good as Andre Drummond is a beast to people, like Embiid has always been his kryptonite. So
Yeah.
I felt like he would come back. Like again, like what I mean? I felt like if Embiid would have played in Miami or Orlando, I don't know if he would have got 30 points. I felt like, he would have been more of a distributor. He might have had a triple double,
Mhm.
right? But it would have been like a 20. It would have been like, maybe 12 assists
Right.
and like right at 10 rebounds. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? But yeah, but like I just feel like when he goes up against Drummond, he's going to destroy him. I do.
Yeah.
And I feel like Embiid wasn't going to play until he was right, until he was ready. You know what I mean? Like as much as he says that he just want to play games and he wants to do stuff,
Mhm.
dude, I'm out here believing like, nah, man, this dude, he knows this streak. He
Yeah.
knows the streak
Oh,
he's
yeah. Oh,
supposed to
yeah.
dominate. Now I gotta ask you a question, Rich, because I wrote about this today and in the paper. But how do you feel about Embiid's injury history? Because the reason why I'm asking you this question is, a lot of people are like, oh, he's missing games. He's missing games. I'm just to a point where it's going to happen. He's
Right.
going to miss
Right.
games. So you deal with it, right? But at the same time, the focus is getting them healthy for the playoffs. So if you gotta if it's a 2-game injury, but you want to give them 4 games to be cautious,
Yeah.
I'm all for it.
Yeah.
Just so you can make it to the playoffs.
Yeah. I mean, the thing with Joel, the one thing that we're all waiting to see is we want to see him arrive at the playoffs fully healthy. I mean, because you see the wonderful things he's done this season, last season. But last season he didn't arrive at the playoffs fully healthy. His scoring, all of his numbers just dipped in the playoffs. He's going to suffer injuries. It's just guys are getting rest during the season. I want to see Joel where there's just no excuses. Where it's like he arrives at the playoffs, he's healthy, and all the stuff that worked during the regular season, all that stuff is in his bag in the playoffs. I don't want to. So I get it. You do whatever you can do. To make sure you arrive at the playoffs with him healthy. I mean, because unfortunately for him, the knock is that he has been a regular season player, not a postseason player. In all fairness to him, um, and you can't blame him because injuries happen, but he's arrived at the playoffs injured so many times. So this time, hopefully, you do what you can to make sure, and I like the fact that he's not playing in fourth quarters like he didn't play in the fourth quarter last night. Get him out of there. If it's important to him to get that 30 and 10 or whatever, and he gets it in the third quarter and the game is a wash, pull his ass out of there. You know what I mean? Get him off the field, get him off the court. And like Nick Nurse has done wisely and play for another day.
I feel you. I'm with you, bro. I can't argue with that one. I feel you with that one. But what I want to talk to you about this lineup change and basically Kelly Oubre. Like, I don't know who's going to be the fifth starter, right? I don't know that, but I'm here to tell you, I believe that, um, I believe that Kelly Oubre deserves to be in there. Like he's playing that way. He's playing extremely well, and this lineup that they had yesterday really looked good.
Yeah.
So here's my thing. I want to talk to y'all about FanDuel right now. The NFL season is wrapping up, but there's still time to get into action with FanDuel, America's #1 sports book. Right now, new customers can get $150 in bonus bets guaranteed when you place a $5 bet. That's $150 in bonus bets, win or lose. The app is so easy to use, and there's so many different ways to bet, like day parlays, find bets in the new Explore tab, make a parlay on the Parlay Hub, the best way to find a popular parlay, and more. So visit fanduel.com/locked on and make your first bet a layup. FanDuel, official partner of the NFL. So, Mitch, did you like that? I mean, did you like that lineup? What they did is, and so, I mean, what they did is they went, DeAnthony Melton was injured, so he didn't play. So what they did, they started Kelly Oubre Jr. at the 2.
Mm-hmm.
They started Nicholas Batum, Nick, whatever you want to call him. They started him at the 3, Tobias at the 4, and Joel at the 5. And what they did is they gave themselves some long, athletic guys out there. Long. Yeah. Now, that's not to say that, and I just want to make sure we get this out there. That's not to say that DeAnthony Melton hasn't been balling, because he has been playing extremely well. They just wanted to try this lineup. And who knows if they go, when Melton comes back, if they go back to him back in the starting lineup. I mean, I think that he didn't like play poorly to lose his spot. Right. I just feel like with him being out there, they wanted to try something out, and it worked. But again, I feel like he played well. But I'm telling you, man, that lineup did look good last night. In that first quarter, they blitzed them. They got out there and blitzed them.
Yeah, I mean, I can't. I don't know. I know the 43 points was tied for the season high for the first quarter, and that looked like the best first quarter they played. I mean, they made 7 3-pointers, couldn't miss from the 3-point line. Joel was out there, dishing and dropping dimes, and I can't forget that no-look assist he had late in the third quarter. But I think that's, I look at that lineup and I say that's their Boston lineup. That's the lineup with the length on the wings, with Kelly Oubre, with Nico Batum. That's what they're going to. You'll see that a lot when they go against Tatum and Brown. And I want to see those guys. You want to see those guys play well on the wings, because that's what their biggest obstacle does very well. In the Eastern Conference. And they're more athletic than they were last season on the wings. So I like the look. I don't necessarily, again, and you and I were having this conversation earlier about Kelly Oubre. Does he start? He made a case for it last night, the way he started that first quarter with 13 points. Started really, really hot. But I don't think DeAnthony Melton has lost his, by any stretch of imagination. It's an injury. but you do want to see guys pushing. You do want to see that competition um, where Nick Nurse may say, "Well, you know what? If I have to, I have to." Again, I think when Kelly gets comfortable, I still think he's shaking off. I think he's rounding into form from that month-long hiatus he had. Um, and I think when he does round into form, I think he'll be a very, very valuable player off the bench if Nick Nurse decides to continue doing that.
Well, here's something before you say that. Here's something to consider. The Sixers are 11-2 with Kelly Oubre in the starting lineup.
Mhm.
Those two losses came last week with when Embiid being out. So when
Mhm.
Kelly Oubre is in the lineup and Embiid's in the lineup, they're
11 and
undefeated.
yeah, yeah,
11
that's
and 2.
something.
I mean,
Yeah,
yeah, dude. I mean, right then
yeah,
and there,
11.
that's something, man. 11 and
Yeah,
2, like 11 and
yeah,
2. So,
yeah.
I mean, and then, when you factor it in, like, the thing about Kelly is that I like the thing is Kelly has mastered, um, he's mastered how to play and get his when that two-man game is rolling. It took
Mhm,
Tobias a while to be aggressive. But with Kelly, if
mhm.
you remember in the beginning of the season when they was playing that more free-flowing offense, getting everybody involved, Kelly was draining threes. Then
Yeah,
all of a sudden, Kelly is like, okay, you mean I gotta get the ball? I gotta do stuff to get the ball. He was crashing the board, dunking, getting pit back dunks, doing all
mhm,
types of stuff. So to me, it's like I like the way he plays with that. Also, but again, I get it. Like you got Nico's length. Nico can drain a three. He could do whatever. But also, Nico's the type of guy that he can, no matter what if he starts or if he comes off the bench, he's going to be pretty good. Kelly too, but I just like that stat, 11-2. So
yeah.
when 11-2, man. So when him and Embiid are together, on
That's
the
a,
floor together in the starting lineup, they're 11-0.
that's impressive, man. You can't slight that. You can't, and you have to consider that. It's going to be something that Nick Nurse will consider. But they win when apparently they win at their highest level when Kelly Oubre is out there with Joel in the starting lineup. And
Yeah, and look, here's the thing, man. Like you talked to Tobias said about Kelly, right? This is what Tobias said yesterday when he told me. He said, man, he's a hell of a hooper. He plays
mhm.
with great energy, great activity. He's so athletic. He can score. He can score at different levels as well as from anywhere, right? He's done a great job of impacting the game. I think he's done a great job of impacting the game defensively too. And when you look at it, like, Oubre is averaging 13.1 points and 1.3 steals. Now, again, his numbers have dropped since the beginning of the season because,
Right.
the minutes and all that other stuff. But then Harris goes on and say he's so active, versatile as a player. He's showing everybody this year that that being in a winning situation, he can impact winning ball in a great way. So he's been great. I mean, his teammates love him, dude. I mean, they just do. Like, they love him. And, it's a good problem for Nick Nurse to have, but I
Mhm.
think he deserves to remain in the starting lineup. I do. Again, it's tough because I don't think Melton has done anything wrong to say that he should
Right.
be demoted, like we said. And Kelly does make them deeper, but 11-2 says a lot,
Yeah.
bro. It says a lot.
Yeah.
It says
Yeah.
a lot. And that lineup looked good. They looked great last night.
Yeah.
Him
They
and that
did.
backcourt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that was like I said. That was the best start I've seen him have all year. I mean, to be up by 29 points in the first quarter. Sometimes teams don't score 29 points in a quarter, and for the 76 to be up 29 at one point, and he was a huge part of that with his 13 points. He kind of
Yeah.
settled down, but yeah, he looked good. And he was that player in Charlotte, but that's just the whole thing. If you're that guy in Charlotte, no, who cares?
Yeah, who cares? Yeah, if the tree falls in the wood, did it really fall?
Right, right.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So I mean, yeah, Kelly was great. And then look, y'all, we gotta talk about this trade situation, or not trade situation, but should the Sixers make a trade or not? Like, they look pretty good right about now, and they've been playing well. I mean, do they still need to make a trade? Do they still need to upgrade? So we'll talk about that more when we get back from talking about game time, right? Here's the thing about y'all about game time. So you shouldn't have to worry about buying tickets for your next big events. Game time is the fast and easy way to buy tickets for all your sports, music, comedy, and theater events near you. One killer last minute deals, all in prices, views from your seat, and their best price guarantee. Guarantee Game time takes the guesswork out of buying tickets, right? It really does. So now what you need to do is you need to go to the Game Time app, create an account, and use the code locked on for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem the code LOCKEDON for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest prices guaranteed.
Gee.
I know, right?
What
so, so
was that?
Mitch,
What was that
huh?
front? What was that front? That was guaranteed. Who was that front? That was a commercial. What?
Yeah, it was. Like, wasn't it Barkley? That's what I'm thinking. Was it Barkley? I don't know. I could be wrong, but
I
he
forget.
guaranteed. Like, I don't know. But I know I was thinking the same. But look, bro, you think they still need to make a move?
Yeah, I do. I think
You
they
do?
are. I do. I do. And I think they. I still think they're a level below. As good as well as they're playing right now. I think they're a level below Boston. I think Boston's got the best record, best team in the NBA still, best roster in the NBA. And I don't want to waste. I don't want to see the 76ers waste this year with Joel. I like to see him. I mean, you know what you got in Maxi, I think. But after that, and this year, I mean, let's face it, they have better pieces this year than they did last year. Um, but I just don't know if they can. If Joel's going to turn in the season like he's turning in, I want to give him the opportunity to remove his name from that list of players who have won the MVP, but have never played in the conference finals or never played for a championship. I think to my knowledge, he's the only player on that list to win the MVP. And granted, his career is not over, but the way he's playing right now, I sense that this is different. And I like I'm a Pascal Siakam guy. I know he's going a lot of money, huge contract, but it's not my money and it's not your money, you know. So if you can bring him in here and you know, because he's that guy he'll play with force for them. I like the kid out of Utah, marketing. I like him. I think if you get if you can get one more piece, you can go to war with anybody. I really believe that.
But do you think you need that type of piece, though? Like, my thing is, if you know that, here's my question about Laurie marketing, right? And I had a debate with a guy a couple of days ago. So I know my man's probably like looking at the podcast. So
Mm-hmm.
what's up, bruh? but anyway, so the deal is he's a big time Laurie marketing fan as well.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, marketing has to be in the right situation for him to excel.
Mm-hmm.
Like, like before when he first was at the Bulls in the beginning, he was doing some stuff, right? But then when they start getting other players, and all of a sudden his usage rate went down a little bit, right?
Right.
So
Right.
then he goes to Cleveland, right? He goes to Cleveland, and it was as if the brother wasn't even on the team. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? It was like he wasn't there. So then he
Uh-huh.
goes to Utah, a team that's supposed to be tanking, and they done traded everybody away, like uh, Donovan Mitchell, and they got rid of people. And then all of a sudden, they start running the offense through him again, and he gets a lot of points. Now, again, I'm not taking anything away from him. I do think he's a good player. I'm not comparing him to the process Sixers where they had these guys out here who were not that good, or they were okay, but they weren't as good as their stats indicated. He's a good player. But my question is he going to give you that productivity playing for the 76ers that he's doing right now in Utah and that he did initially like with Chicago? Or is he going to be the guy that you're paying a lot of money for and he's going to be like what he was in Cleveland? So that's my only concern about him. And the other, and my concern about Pascal Siakam is that Pascal has reached that stage of his career where the offense runs through him. Like he is that guy. Now, if he comes here, the offense is running through Joel Embiid.
And I think he'll get in line with that too, Keith.
He'll get in line with that. But my thing is
chemistry.
That too. But like if you get him, I mean, basically, unless you're just saying, "Hey, we're going to trade you for Tobias or somebody for this year, and we don't intend on bringing you back," it's going to be one of those things where you're going to have to like outbid other teams for him if you want him. So then it's going to become another Tobias Harris situation where like you got to pay Maxey, but then you're going to have to pay this guy a lot of money, and then all of a sudden it's kind of like you got the big three, and what else you got? You know what I'm saying? So like those are my only concerns because if you got Kelly Oubre, you got all Marcus Morris, all these other guys, and you feel like they can help you, either starting or off the bench, and then you have Tobias, right? Now you can argue that he may be an upgrade from Tobias, right? That he's an upgrade from him, but at the same time, is he going to be your third option? And how many shots is he going to get that you're going to have? And then how much is it going to cost to keep him? I mean, you know what I mean? So that's just my like the one dude I love. I mean, we talked about it before. Caruso. I like Caruso. I feel like he's good. I like Caruso. But again, the way they're playing right now, I think the only person that you could probably get is Zach LaVine, and I don't think Zach LaVine's a good fit because I feel like this team has they're 10-6 in their last 16 games, so they're playing a whole lot better than they did early on.
Yeah. So do you think as presently constructed, the 76ers can get beyond the second round?
No. But I don't think they can get behind the second. I don't think. I mean, if it depends. Like I got to see that lineup again. Like if I see that lineup again or whatever. But I don't think. I'm not 100% sure if they go out there and get Pascal Siakam that they could get behind the second round either. Though. Like I mean, I think that that Boston. Anything can happen, right? Look at Miami last year. Anything can happen. Nick Nurse is a phenomenal coach, But my thing is, it's like you just gotta, if you're going to give up someone and you're going to sign them, like I'm pretty sure, like if you just say, okay, Pascal, you can walk, then that's cool. But I'm pretty sure you would want that type of player.
Is he in the last year of his contract? Is he in the last year of his deal?
I think he got a player option. I think he has a player, but that's a lot of money, dude. Let's see.
Yeah.
Let's see. Toronto Raptors. Here we go. Right here. Sorry for holding y'all up. Y'all. Nah, dude. Nah. Yeah. I mean, you got to pay him. Yeah, you got to pay him. Because, see, not pay him, but he's going to get paid. So, let's see. Pascal Siakam. Oh, no. He is in his last year of his deal. Yeah. He's on his head. You're going to have to pay him.
Okay.
You're gonna pay him. He's making He's making $37 million this year. So you got to pay him. You're gonna have to pay him.
Okay. Yeah. I thought he was earlier in his deal.
Yeah. So that's the thing. Yeah, I thought it was, but then I wasn't 100% sure. Yeah. But look, y'all, we want to thank y'all for listening to us. Well, know that you can get this podcast free and available wherever you get your podcast and on YouTube. We're part of the Locked On 76ers network, right? But also, you can go when you go to our YouTube channel, click on the Liberty Bell, you become a new subscriber, right? In addition to that, you get notifications of when we drop our next podcast. But we just wanted to thank y'all for listening and make sure you guys have a blessed day. Peace.
Take care, y'all.